Best Anime TV Series of All Time. 10. Neon Genesis Evangelion. In the year 2000, a group of scientists organized an expedition to Antarctica. The result of this trip was the discovery of a large, luminous being who was considered the first angel, Adam. On September 13, an attempt was made to catch the creature. The effect of these actions was the creation of a strong AT field by the angel. Creation of AT field caused a strong explosion, which resulted in the disappearance of Antarctica, shift of the Earth's axis, climate change and great floods. The real cause of the explosion was concealed, and according to the official version, the explosion was caused by a huge meteorite crash on Antarctica. That's how the conflict with the angels began. The protagonist of the series is Shinji Ikari, a shy 14-year-old boy who, despite his will, is chosen as a pilot of a humanoid robot called Evangelion. Evangelions are the main weapon in the fight against angels. At his side, his classmates, silent and often accused of being a non-profane Rai Ayamani, and proud red-haired Asuka Langley Soryu fight in their own Evangelions in war against angels. 9. Hunter x Hunter. Hunter x Hunter tells a story of Gon, a 12-year-old boy who lives on a small island called Kujira. His father abandoned them when he was an infant. His life totally changes when he learns that his father is alive and, in fact, he is a very famous hunter. Gon decides to follow in the footsteps of his father. He wants to become a hunter and, like his father, search for the lost treasures, artifacts and mythical creatures. And most of all, he wants to find his father. During the hunter's exam, Gon meets 3 new friends. The last surviving member of the Kurta clan, Kurapika, a prospective physician, Leorio, and Killua, the boy who comes from the world's most notorious assassin family. Together they depart on dangerous adventure in order to become hunters and make their deepest dreams come true. 8. Monster. The story begins in Dusseldorf, Germany, soon after the destruction of the Berlin Wall. The main character, Dr. Kenzu Tenma, is a young and outstanding neurosurgeon from Japan. He studied in Germany, and after graduating he decided to stay and started working in a local hospital. Thanks to his talent, the hospital has become the most prestigious in the whole city. Dr. Tenma has a perfect life, but it's going to change really soon. When at the same time a small boy with a head gunshot wound and the mayor are brought to the hospital, Dr. Kenzu has to make a choice. Against the direct orders of his superior, he decides to save the boy's life first. He is successful, however, the mayor dies in the meantime. At this point, Dr. Tenma's life is completely changed. His fiancée breaks up the engagement, the director of the hospital becomes his worst enemy, and all friends turn away from him. Soon after, director of the hospital and 3 other doctors are mysteriously murdered, and the boy he saved disappears without any trace. Dr. Kenzu is now the main suspect. 7. Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z begins 5 years after Dragon Ball original series. We can follow the fate of an already adult Son Goku. He has a son called Son Gohan, which prefers to study way more than to fight. They have a peaceful family life, but soon it's all going to change. One day, the brother of Son Goku, Raditz, arrives on Earth. He explains that they are brothers and Son Goku was sent to Earth to conquer the planet. When Raditz learns that Son Goku does not intend to complete his task, Raditz kidnaps his son, and this is just the beginning. 6. Attack on Titan. The series takes place in a post-apocalyptic world in which humanity has been almost completely wiped out by beings called Titans. A small group of the people who survived took refuge in an area surrounded by 3 50-meter-high walls named Maria, Rose, and Sina. These walls have kept the remains of humanity safe for over 100 years. The life is peaceful inside these walls. However, Titans still roam the world outside, and every expedition of survey cops to the outside world ends in a failure. One day, 60-meter-tall Titans grow out from under the ground and manage to breach the outer wall, Maria. After getting through the wall, the Titans completely destroy all cities and devour people. A few survivors manage to get a shelter behind the central wall of Rose. Among the survivors, there are 3 friends, Eren, Mikasa, and Armin. Eren had a long dream of joining the Survey Corps to see the outside world. Seeing how Titan devours his mother, the boy swears vengeance, and a few years later he joins the army with his friends. 5. One Punch Man. The series takes place on an Earth-like planet somewhere in the universe. From time to time, dangerous monsters and villains appear out of nowhere, causing havoc. In order to defend the planet, the world government has established the Hero Association, and all of its members, depending on their skills, are ranked from the class C to class S. The main character, Saitama, trained so fiercely that he even exceeded the class S limit and is able to defeat any opponent with just a single punch. Over time he grows bored with his amazing power and frustrated by the lack of strong opponents, so he travels the world to find one worthy opponent. 4. Cowboy Bebop. This anime tells the story of a group of bounty hunters who roam the universe on a spaceship called Bebop. There are 5 of them: Spike Spiegel, 5 Valentine, Jet Black, hacker called Ed, and genetically modified dog Ain. Each of them has its own different story and hidden past, but what they all have in common is that they don't care about each other. They hunt for criminals together and agree to cooperate with each other because of one simple reason: they all care about the money. 3. Full Metal Alchemist. This anime takes place in an alternative universe in which alchemy is one of the most advanced sciences. The plot tells a story of 2 brothers, Edward and Alphonse, who used forbidden alchemy in order to resurrect their mother. However, the golden rule of alchemy says that you need to provide something of equal value in order to complete the transmutation. So when brothers used forbidden alchemy, Edward lost his left leg and Alphonse lost his whole body, and they failed to resurrect their mother. Now their goal is to find a legendary philosophical stone in hope it will allow them to recreate a new body for Alphonse. 2. Avatar: The Last Airbender. This anime takes place in a world divided into 4 nations named after 4 classical elements: fire, water, earth, and air. These 4 nations are the Water Tribes, the Earth Kingdom, the Fire Nation, and the Air Nomads. In each of these lands there are people who are called Benders, who can telekinetically control one element assigned to their tribe. Once in a generation, alternating in different nations according to the cycle, the Avatar reincarnated is born. Avatar is the spirit of the world taking on human form. He has the ability to learn and master all 4 elements, and his job is to maintain peace and balance in the world. When the current Avatar suddenly dies, the ruler of the Fire Nation decides to use this opportunity and start a war against 3 other nations. 100 years later, when Fire Nation is close to achieving complete victory, 2 siblings from the Water Tribe save a strange-looking 12-year-old boy named Aang. As it turns out, this young boy is the last airbender, the last survivor of his tribe, and at the same time the reincarnation of Avatar. Will he bring peace to the world once again? 1. Death Note. Death Note tells the story of a genius teenager called Yagami Light, who finds a notebook dropped by Death God Ryuk. This found notebook has some extraordinary abilities. The person whose name and surname will be written in it dies. Yagami discovers the powers of notebooks and wants to use it to eradicate Earth from all the criminals. Death Note is such a powerful psychological anime that some countries tried to ban it, and in some places ban is still valid today. In 2007, a dismembered body was discovered in Belgium, and police found a note that said, "I am Kira," right next to the body. Kira is a pseudonym used by Yagami Light, the hero of the anime Death Note.